We heard something sound like somebody was knocking with 3 knocks, you know. We didn't knock back because there was no hopes, giving them hopes we could get there. But they knocked, that whatever it was, we don't know if it was just somebody trapped or what, but every now and then you'd hear toot, toot, toot.
Though the Second World War had engulfed much of Europe and Asia by 1941, the people of the United States were still living in isolation, largely indifferent toward the conflict erupting throughout the world. So for many young men like Joseph Richard, joining the military was not so much a call to arms, but a possible career option.
I had just finished welding school. They had but 2 welding shops, and they'd give me just a little bit of work, but they promised me that I would be a welder in the Navy. So I joined the Navy, March of '41. It made a man out of me. I went in with a pacifier and came out with a Coors Light. I went to boot camp in San Diego, and then I got in Pearl Harbor July the 7th of '41. The Regal was there being converted to a destroyer tender. She didn't have no power, no guns or nothing. They had us busy. We was welding all the time. November, they brought us into the docks, so that's where we was at Pier 13 when December the 7th. Well, that morning, they saw the planes, and they knew they were coming in, but they thought they were our planes coming in. Never paid no mind until it was too late. Ate breakfast, and I was getting ready. All I had was to put my shirt on. I was eating grapes when all of a sudden I heard all that noise. I looked out the porthole, and where I looked at, I could see the Arizona.
Japanese torpedo bombers scored a direct hit on the Arizona, resulting in a violent explosion that would sink the ship and take the lives of more than 1,100 sailors on board.
Then I went on topside, and that's when all them planes going to come. And they would get low. The torpedo bombers had to come in low so the bombs wouldn't go underneath the ship. Yeah, we were lucky that we never got torpedoed, but we had one of them came just over us and banked a little, and I seen the red sun, but he would wave at me. He was smiling. I could see him as good as I see you, and he'd wave at us. We got hit with a shrapnel bomb. We had 150 holes in the ship. And we had a bomb, went through the boat and didn't go off. We were lucky. Yeah, they sure surprised us.
When the attack subsided, thousands were dead or wounded, and the U.S. Navy fleet was devastatingly crippled. For Joseph, the day had only just begun.
And my job was to try and get the ones that was trapped out of that. So I worked on that for 2 days. We passed by the Oklahoma, and I thought I heard a tap. So I asked the boatswain mate to cut the motor off. And we paddled around. We made a couple rounds. So after a while, it was pop, pop, pop. So we went and got our equipment, came and cut them out. There was 3 men in there, just their heads sticking out of the water. And the crew I was at the time, we saved 33. And then they stopped us on account that The ocean was nothing but oil, and every time we would light a torch and start cutting, the whole ocean would catch a fire. So that was all.
Having done all they could, the crew's rescue attempts were brought to a stop. But Joseph heard a sound coming from the USS West Virginia that would haunt him forever.
We heard something, it sounded like somebody was knocking with 3 knocks, you know. That went on till the day before Christmas. We didn't knock back because there was no hopes, giving them hopes we could get there. But they knocked, that whatever it was, we don't know if it was just somebody trapped or what, but it had, every now and then you'd hear toot, 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 until the day before Christmas.
The Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor shook the United States to its core, but more notably, brought the nation together.
I ask that the Congress declare a state of war between the United States and the Japanese Empire.
Yeah, and then we got fitted, you know, and had some guns put on us, and then after that, we made all of them. Invasions.
With confidence in our armed forces, with the unbounding determination of our people, we will gain the inevitable triumph, so help us God.
The last one was Okinawa, and that was something else. We had 52 destroyers that were either sunk or damaged. This was the destroyers. And there was little wooden planes. How they never did hit us, they were blowing them up all around us. And we had brought some boys in. And I got to meet, you know, try to make them comfortable. They just got out of boot camp. They would leave the ship at 6 o'clock in the morning, and by 6 o'clock that afternoon, they were dead. They didn't stay too long, poor little fellas. They was in caves and that, and they had to burn them out. They just wouldn't, they wouldn't give up. They'd have little kids that high with hand grenades that blow you up. And all she rolled.
In June of 1945, the Battle of Okinawa finally concluded as an American victory, but not before becoming the bloodiest battle yet in the Pacific Theater. Given Japan's steadfast resolve to choose death over surrender, the decision was made to bring a devastating but swift end to the war, avoiding an invasion of the Japanese mainland and an unimaginable amount of bloodshed.
I don't know if they'd ever give up. But if they wouldn't have dropped that bomb, I don't know what would have happened.
On September 2nd, 1945, Japan surrendered, and at long last, the Second World War was over. than 7 decades after the war's end, Joseph's thoughts continued to take him back to the attack on Pearl Harbor and the men he could not save from the wreckage.
Them boys said that they didn't know. I don't know when they went to. Some of them before the end. I got a friend of mine, Louie, from Southside. He was a Marine on the Arizona, and he got killed. His body's still there. I think of that, and it just, I don't know. I hope it never happens again to anybody.
But in December of 1998, Joseph had a chance encounter that would bring some closure to that terrible day.
57 years later, we was at a convention in Las Vegas, and we was sitting at a big table, and I had a friend of mine sitting here, and the other fellow was sitting on the other side of it. His name was Bob West. He told my buddy, he says, I sure wish I could meet the ones that cut me out of Oklahoma. Well, my buddy told him, he said, you want to meet somebody? Yeah, well, he said, let's go on the other side of me. He said, there's one of them there that cut you out. So he got up and came, and somebody asked me what he said. I said, he ain't said a damn thing. I said, he got up and kissed me. Well, we shook hands and got to be buddies. And then we kept in touch until he died 3 years ago. Well, it's wonderful to know that you had somebody that helping somebody.
Hi everyone, I'm Josh from Memoirs of World War II, and I just want to say thank you for watching this episode. Our goal is to capture as many World War II veteran stories as we can from all over the world, but we can't do it alone. If you'd like to help us in this mission, consider supporting us through Patreon and check out our website memoirsofworldwar2.com for more information. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell so you don't miss a single episode. Again, we want to thank you for your support, and thanks for watching.